What's up, guys, and welcome back to Fight for Murder University. This is Money Fights, where we talk about some of the biggest fights in both boxing and MMA world and how that applies to the business that you see behind it. Whether you're involved or thinking of getting involved in the club show level, all the way up to pay-per-view fights, we talk about some of that stuff behind the scenes. So you feel it in the air, man. It's fight week, big fight week. We got McGregor versus Poirier 2 for the UFC in Fight Island. I cannot wait for this. Unabashed McGregor supporter. I think he's massively underrated. People think a lot of it's a hype job, but it's not. And Poirier is just an absolute warrior. Their first bout was exciting. So the build up to fight week is here. You guys can probably already see it all over social media, all over ESPN. I always love looking at it from instead of just a fan, which is great too, but I love looking at fight weeks from a business perspective because you see how much goes into this. And I wish the UFC, no one does a better job than the UFC in promoting their fights. But I wish more club promoters would take this same strategy in some of theirs. Obviously, it would look a little different, but I mean, you see some of the stuff that's going on right now. You got, first of all, you've got a star like McGregor, a star like McGregor who knows how to play it up. I mean, you saw in Abu Dhabi, he literally is spending his fight week or leading up to fight week on a yacht, a massive yacht, going around buying up $1 million watches. He had that one that looked like a snow globe on it. So he's just playing the role, man, and I love that. But so regarding the promotional stuff, some of the things that you're seeing is they have massive amounts of vlog series, UFC embedded it on YouTube. They've got fighter interviews with large publications. McGregor sat down for almost an hour with Ariel Helwani. And you could see his mentality is great. So that's a new perspective to see. Before he was kind of riled up McGregor, whereas he seems calm, composed, but has that warrior spirit, which is nice. So you've got those interviews, you've got those embedded vlogs, you've got large amount of social media ads going out right now. And what's great is that if you pay attention, you can almost predict within about 100 to 200,000. You can almost predict what the pay-per-view buys are going to be, because if you fight, and the UFC does this, they almost know. You hear Dana White talk about tracking, and really all they're doing is they're looking at pre-sale pay-per-view buys. They're looking at views on some of their video series, views and shareability of some of those interviews that I talked about. They're hyping up, and they're not just focusing on one side. Poirier's getting a lot of shine too. They're focusing on the fact that when he lost to McGregor, he was a featherweight and was struggling to cut weight. Now he's a full-fledged lightweight and has gone on, I believe it's been a 10-2 record since they first fought maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So you start to think about these things like, okay, well, they're fighting at lightweight now. Poirier might be able to handle the shots a little better. So it's just, I'm really excited about it, and I love some of the PR that's going into it. One of the things that's come about with the UFC that boxing hasn't caught on to as much is some of the influencer personalities that are journalist roles. So the UFC has shows like the Schmo Zone. You've got all these commentators. John Anik and Paul Felder have partnered up to have their own little podcast show talking about some of these things. They've got, Mike Tyson's Hot Box has a lot of fighters on. Who else? Joe Rogan, of course. So you have all these opportunities. The more people that are creating content are in that environment, the more people you need to get in front of. And that includes beyond just the pay-per-views, like I said, for club shows. But a week is almost not enough time to promote this. But here we are, though, in the fever pitch of it all. And John Anik even spoke to the fact that this... when you have back-to-back events like this, it's hard as a promoter and someone working on a promotional card in his role to be properly prepared. It's like there's not enough time to get all this marketing and research done on the back end. But they're making it happen. I'm really excited. Dana White, once again, proving he's the GOAT. I wouldn't be surprised if McGregor smashes. Well, first of all, he's going to smash all pay-per-views that have happened throughout the last year. There's no doubt about that. It will exceed. It'll probably actually be pretty close to what it did with what he did against Cerrone, because Cerrone, he was coming off a long layoff, so there was a lot of anticipation there. But now, the lightweight division's kind of up for grabs, especially with Khabib, which is another promotional angle. Whether Khabib plans to fight again or not, there's two sides of the aisle there, whatever you want to believe. But the fact that they're utilizing that as a promotional piece, him and Dana White's little negotiation meeting, which, you know what that was. That was just Dana White trying to convince him, hey, are you sure you don't want $50 million? But they're using that as a promotional piece. And this is what the UFC does so well, and why I will always maintain that Dana White is the GOAT promoter. More so than Don King, more so than Bob Arum, more so than Eddie Hearn, Tex Rickard, all these Hall of Fame promoters. Dana White is the GOAT. He knows how to leverage a lot of this stuff. And so it's nice that Khabib is helping to promote this fight, whether he knows he's doing that or not. So it's just exciting to see all these pieces come together. I'd be curious what last couple stunts are going to be pulled during the press conferences and the stare down. I expect McGregor to be very serious in it, but at the same time, he seems to have a much more cool and collected respect about him, which, in my opinion, is very smart, because we've seen the unhinged version of McGregor, and that act was getting a little tired. I think by the Mayweather fight, that was getting a little tired. People have seen that before, the antics. So yeah, I'm really excited to see this new McGregor take shape, and what's going to come next. The winner of this fight, in my mind, is the champion at lightweight, unless Khabib comes back. He hasn't vacated anything yet, so he is the champ. But assuming this is a lightweight division without him, the winner of this fight is the interim / should be the champion, or at least be in a title fight next. So, I think we're going to see a different fight. I think McGregor is going to win, in my opinion. I think he's going to stop him, but I think it's going to be a different fight. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know some other things you've picked up on during this promotional round robin the last week. We've still got several days left. It's Tuesday, so I'm gonna do another video talking about this right beforehand. But nothing beats a big fight week, and we've got a lot more on deck. But in terms of MMA, when McGregor's name is associated with it, it doesn't really get much bigger. So anyway, leave a comment below if you have any questions, or if there's a topic you'd like us to touch on, and we'll get back to as many as we can. And feel free to visit fightpromoteruniversity.com if you want to learn more about getting involved in the fight business, either boxing or MMA. Thanks, guys.